Hey you, welcome to the Blissey shirt tutorial. So in this version of the Blissey, we're gonna do shirt length pockets in the neckband. So for this, we will have 2 sleeves, 2 pockets, a back and a front, and 1 neckband. Now before you get too far ahead, go ahead and press all your hems up to the wrong side, okay? And when you're done doing that, don't sew them, just press them. Press the top of your pocket 1 inch towards the right side. So the pocket, press towards the right side, the hems, press towards the wrong side. So my pocket looks the same. I've drawn these blue lines to indicate wrong side. So this is my wrong side. And I folded the pocket over to the right side, okay? So go take care of that first. Do it right now. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is to sew your pocket. So we have it folded to the right side, and then we're gonna sew this end right here. So you can just choose to sew this part here or sew all the way down. And it's a 1/2 inch away from that edge on both sides. So mine is sewn, and from here I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna turn it right side out, and then I'm gonna need to press it and then top stitch this part down. So it'll look like this when I'm done. So I'm gonna clip these corners. Then I'm going to turn this right side out. I'll pop those corners out. So just turning it right side out, it looks like this. We need to take it and we need to press these sides in a 1/2 inch. Okay? And once you have it laying nice, then you want to sew this part of the pocket down right here. So when it's done, it will look like this. Now this pocket is ready to get sewn onto our shirt. And since we're doing a little straight stitching, go ahead and get your neckband and fold it right sides together. And then stitch down the short end right here. Next, we're gonna sew these pockets on. So take your front, which would be the lower neckline of the 2 pieces. So this is back. This is front, get rid of back, and unfold that hem. So we have our hem pressed up, and that's gonna serve us well later, but right now, we don't need it pressed up. We need it pressed down so that we can get these pockets into position. So if you haven't done so already, get your pattern piece and cut those pockets out, and then lay them on top, and with your fabric marker or chalk, draw an outline of where they're supposed to be. I just have my top and my 2 corners because I know my bottom is going to line up here with the bottom of the shirt. So I'm just going to put those where they're supposed to be. And then I'm going to take this over to my machine, and I'm going to sew these pockets in place. I'm going to sew just the side. So this side, this side, this side, and this side. This opening here is going to be taken care of when we hem the shirt. So that's a little bit different than when we do the tunic version, because the tunic version, we actually fold this up and it's a little bit longer. So go ahead and go sew your pockets on real quick, or not too quick. Take your time, but not too much time. All right, so our pockets are now sewn on, and what we want to do is to sew the front to the back. And we're going to do that by putting our pieces right sides together, and we're going to sew them at the shoulder seam. So we'll get these lined up all perfect as possible, and then take it over to your machine and just sew from here to here and then here to here. Okay? With the shoulder seams sewn, we're going to sew the sleeves on. So here it is sewn. You can see by the red, and then I'm going to lay this so that it is open, and the front and back are right sides up. So, and then make sure that the seam here, the shoulder seam, is towards the back. So, to put the, to pin it or clip it on, the sleeve on properly, fold it in half and find the center line. So there's my center line, okay? And you can put a clip or a pin in it, or just hold it and get it to that middle point. You're going to pin it or clip it to that seam. Make sure that seam is going to the back, okay? Now, when we take it over to sew it, we're gonna start sewing from this corner. So line it up right here. So from this corner where my finger is, all the way around to the center, and then continue to sew all the way to the other corner. Okay, so let's go over to the serger and I will show you how I do it. This is my shirt right here. There's that corner that we were talking about. I'm gonna put my foot up, and here's the corner of my sleeve. I'm gonna line those two corners up, and I'm just gonna slide it under my foot. Foot down. I'm just gonna sew a little bit. I'm just gonna adjust my fabric and sew some more. Okay. Make sure your seam is going in the right direction. So it should be towards the back. If it's not, adjust it. Okay. Lining up these two edges. Okay, now I'm going to do my other sleeve. I don't need to lay it on the table. I just need to make sure that I line that center point of the sleeve up with the shoulder seam, and my seam is towards the back of the shirt. Okay, so we will sew from the corner. These are right sides together, my sleeve, my shirt. Make sure that seam is towards the back of the shirt. Okay, now I'm going to fold this in half at the shoulder seams, so like this. And I'm going to line up my sleeve. Here's my sleeve, the end of my sleeve with that hem unfolded. And now I'm going to sew my side seams. Make sure when you get to the bottom that you unfold your hem too. So if it's pinned up like mine is, go ahead and take that pin out. Line up the bottom, line up the side. Okay. Then we're going to do the same over here. So here's my sleeve. It's folded in half. Whoops. Just like that. And here we go. These pieces are right sides together, my hem. And pull that clip out. Excuse me, pin. Lining up these side seams, making sure the raw edges. Okay, next step, we will fold the hem back up and we're going to sew it in place. So it should fold up on its own because we have already pressed it earlier. So take it over to your machine and either cover stitch it down or use a zigzag or some other stretch stitch that your machine can do. The next step is to sew our neckband on. And so to do this, we're going to fold it in half. Our shirt is right side out. We're going to find center front and center back. And I'm going to mark these 2 spots with pins. Next, I'm going to take my neckband and fold it wrong sides together. And then I'm going to find the center front and the center back for my neckband, okay? And so center back is gonna be the seam. And you just fold it and mark 180 degrees out, because this is a circle. A circle is 360 degrees. Of that's 180. So the opposite side of that seam, or 180 degrees out, will be your front. And I only mark my neckbands in 2 places because neckbands are very small and most of them you can stretch between 2 points pretty easy. So more points, more pins doesn't really do me any good, in my opinion, when all I have to do is stretch from here to here. Because from here to here is the same as here to here. From the back to this front is the same as from the front to the back. So, only 2 spots. So I'm going to take this and clip it to the outside of my shirt. I'm clipping my neckband to the outside of the shirt, lining up the raw edges. Okay, so now as you can see, when I go to sew it, it's even. As long as I keep tension on it from the back to the front, it'll sew on perfectly. Okay, so here is my serger. Okay, this is the back of my shirt. This is the inside of the back of my shirt. My neckband is on the outside. I'm going to insert this under my foot so that that seam is pretty close to being directly under my needles. Okay, just going to get a few stitches in it to hold it down. And then I'm just going to stretch that neckband like we talked about and line up these raw edges, all 3 of them. So you'll have 2 raw edges from your neckband and 1 from your shirt. Make sure that when you're sewing this, that you keep this tension on it. You keep your shoulder seam towards the back and you don't run over any pins or clips. Make sure to keep adjusting if you need to keep those raw edges lined up. Okay, now I'm here and I'm going to adjust this so it's evenly pulled, raw edges lined up. Okay. Making sure that seams towards the back. Okay. I'm going to raise my needles. I'm going to raise my foot. I'm going to clear the needles a little bit and I'm going to run it off. Okay. Now you can thread this in for a much better finish, or if you're lazy like me, just cut it off. Okay. And then we'll bring the neckband to the inside and we'll give it a good press. And once it's pressed, you can top stitch around it, but make sure that if you top stitch it, you're using a stretch stitch. So we're done with the Blissey shirt. We've sewn the pockets, we've sewn the neckband. This is not the only way you can sew this, the shirt version of the Blissey. You can also sew it with style A headband, or not headband, style A hoodie, or style B hoodie. It's there's lots of different options. So with the Blissey, you can have a neckband, you can have your choice of 2 hoods, you can have tunic length or shirt length like we made today, and you can do pockets or no pockets. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Bye.